Audio Reflection 3. So, after looking this week and learning and seeing how people can be majorly affected, and seeing how AI and its ways it can work, it is a little scary. I'll be honest, reflecting and seeing all the ethical applications of how tracking can happen, it truly does frighten me a little bit. But I will say that what I can carry into the future now, knowing it, is how information can be protected, how I can protect myself, like the cookies. I somewhat knew about it, but when given the questions and how to, and the legal protection, it does make it gave me a lot more knowledge now and help in trying to prevent tracking on my info, but also knowing how that people who could gain that info can try to find more about my personal life. So now it's really keeping me cognizant on my online life, like looking up, let's just like me, baseball player, looking up gloves and stuff. They might think, okay, baseball might be a password. And then like going on down how algorithms and bias, like making sure, like I'll when using machine learning, I've always been a little skeptical. And somebody say, "Oh yeah, I used it for this," and I will always, and what I've been gathering and what I always do now, and this has reinforced it, is more of, let me see your sources of what it's using, because like say you're trying to do a report about some Congress member. Well, if you're getting your information from Fox News, it's going to lean one way. You get your information from CBS or NBC or any major media outlet, it's going to be swayed one way or another. So, like, say I wanted to use let's say I want to use Google Gemini, I would want its sources, and I would honestly cross examine them to make sure everything lines up in a professional manner. And then, like, solutions, like testing. And then finally, the legal frameworks that this actually is what made me a little more cognizant in like hip how your information is protected, like HIPAA. A few years ago, I do remember having to sign these documents saying none of my information can be used for medical testing or medical studies, and like showing how the world is already advancing towards studies with artificial intelligence, and me protecting my rights and my privacy to make sure my information doesn't get out there and doesn't get linked. But it shows how your information can be easily accessed and how you need to take great strides to protect it. So in the future, constantly looking to protect personal information from getting out there on the internet to where I can protect myself and not have to suffer the consequences. And that's what I'm taking with me into the future.